So you might have seen on LinkedIn today, I made a rather cheeky post. Hey, CoreLogic Australia, I found a way to make those fill in the blank auction reports we've been getting for the last 10 years or more interesting. What do you think? Time to change things up. Sincerely, the real estate industry and journalists everywhere. Yes, it was pretty cheeky because it was like 10 years or more. But in my defense, the reports have been pretty much the same. And you can see how they're churned out. They're churned out to go to bazillion journalists and real estate agents everywhere, and they kind of just, it feels a bit paint by numbers ish. Sometimes those reports are quite hard to get through. If you haven't seen it, this is what it sounds like.
Really tells a story about all that pent up seller energy finally meeting a shift in buyer behavior.
Because everyone was getting cold feet with the interest rate hikes last year.
Exactly. It was like someone hit the pause button on the whole market there for a minute.
It's really interesting that this AI has taken a bland paint by numbers report and turned it into a conversation between two AIs. And for those of you that find these reports quite hard to digest, it actually is quite engaging and interesting. So I thought I'd show you how I did it. I got quite a few emails asking me anyway, so I thought you might find it interesting because there were two steps, one to create the podcast and then another to create the video. So first of all, the tool that I used is this experimental tool by Google called Notebook LM. There's this other tool that is coming soon called Google Illuminate. And, it's basically, you can transform your content into engaging AI generated audio discussions. I put myself on the wait list, but I actually think that what is in Notebook LM at the moment is actually Illuminate. To show you how this works, you just click on New Notebook and here you get to upload all your sources. You can drag and drop a PDF, which is what I did with the CoreLogic one, or you can upload something from Google Drive or Google Slides or link to a website or copy some text in. You can actually see it's got 50 sources. I'm planning on experimenting with multiple sources to create a podcast that encompasses quite a bit. What I thought we might do is this feature for tomorrow on Elite Agent Dom Savon. I'm just going to copy this link and you can see that this article is quite long. It's from Elite Retreat. Dom Thibon was a bit of a legend and then just a really cool guy. He talks about disrupt yourself, challenge your assumptions, embrace the truth. Anyway, we come over here to Untitled Notebook. We click on website, paste the URL in there and click insert. You can see now that it's extracting the text from the website and summarizing it. We can chat to it. It's part of the whole Gemini suite of things from Google. Here we go, deep dive conversation to hosts English only. And there's a bunch of other stuff. You could help me create an FAQ, study guide, and timeline. So if we go generate, now this might take a couple of minutes. It says no need to stick around, but we might as well stick around because I've got nothing better to do. I'm actually in Sydney this week. So let's click on timeline and see what that does. This is just generating another note. This was really interesting, the story about Matt Lancashire. Here we go, timeline of events. This is going through the timeline of the things that Dominic spoke about at Elite Retreat. There's a great story about Burberry and the cast of characters. We can have a look at each of those things. We better call this something, Dominic Thibon from Elite Agent. You can see we are still generating conversation over here. Let's have a look at FAQ. Let's see what that brings up. Okay. So here we go. This is created FAQ from the story. So what is the biggest challenge real estate professionals face in times of disruption? The biggest challenge isn't necessarily predicting the future or understanding new ideas. It's applying these insights amidst the daily demands of running a business. Hey, ain't that the truth? It's easy to get caught up in the present and fail to implement necessary changes. Why is it crucial for real estate businesses to challenge their assumptions? Assumptions, especially outdated ones, can blind businesses to emerging trends and opportunities. Clinging to what worked in the past can lead to stagnation and vulnerability. So you can see that this is like, if you like the kind of Q&A kind of way to consume things, then this is pretty good as well. So let's go back. I'm just going to collapse this and go back to Notebook Guide and let's see if this conversation is going to be up. But the other thing too is you can just, we can just chat to it. So it's a normal, as I said, part of the Gemini suite. So I can type and I can say something like, what did Dom say about horses? And we could come up and tell us. There we go. Here is what sources say that Dom said about horses to illustrate the pitfalls of rigid thinking. And I can imagine, that the more sources you put in here, that you could chat across sources. So that could be very cool, especially when it comes to things like navigating legislation and stuff like that. Actually, that's a good point. Might have to look at that. Anyway, let's go back to the notebook guide. So here we go. Let's press play.
Ever feel like you're running as fast as you can just to stay in the same place?
It's a common feeling.
Well, today we're tackling that feeling head on.
Okay, I like it.
We're time traveling to September 19th, 2024, grabbing insights from expert Dominic Thurbin.
Always love his work.
Yeah.
What do you got for us this time?
He's talked. So, these guys don't know Dominic, I don't think, but, it's really cool. I always love his work. I don't know. I feel like I might be out of a job as a podcast host now, but the way that I created the video that I posted on LinkedIn, so let's go back to that for a sec. As you can see, this is clearly a video, is what I did was I downloaded it. And so let's go download it. So I'm going to go download. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go over to Descript, which is, what I use basically to edit any videos at the moment. So I'm just going to go Descript, video, and a lot of you guys have seen me using this stuff. So now I'm going to go upload a file. There's my CoreLogic one from earlier today, but I'm going to go take that WAV file. So at the moment it's just sound, right? And so this will go into Descript now, analyze the file, and it's going to transcribe it for me. So that's all good. So what I want to do, I'm just going to hit minimize there for a second. So we can see that the canvas at the moment is blank, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add, this is exactly the way that I did it, is I went to media. So I'm just going to go more and go media. And straight from Descript, you can actually add stuff. So I'm going to add a stock image. Could add an Elite Retreat picture of Dominic or something like that. I want to choose something with a fairly dark background so that my text looks good over the top of it, which is how I came up with that little, what you listen to. It's cute. We'll just go with this one. So now this is going to transfer this image straight onto the canvas. Now it is going to be a static image, and if you want people to actually sort of stop and look on any of the social platforms. So I'm just going to expand that so that it covers the whole lot. So you can see now we've got this thing over the whole canvas. And what we're going to do now, I think that image is covering the whole canvas. Yes, it is. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I am going to go and put captions over the top. So Descript will automatically take whatever's in this when you put captions on it. So I'm going to click on captions and I can choose a bunch of different things. I'm just going to choose large white captions, and that will stick my captions on the top there. And then just to add a bit of extra interest, I'm going to go to elements, and I am going to not add any of that, but I'm going to add there's various waveforms and things like that you can add. I'm going to add that one because I like that one. And now when I press play on this, it's now a video basically. I'm just going to identify my speakers or anything like that. But I do want to press play on it. So
Ever feel like you're running as fast as you can just to stay in the same place?
It's a common feeling.
Well, today we're tackling that feeling head on.
Okay, I like it.
We're time traveling to September 19th, 2024, grabbing insights from expert Dominic Thurbin.
Always love his
all
work.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
What's
I
he
can
got for
see
us this
there,
time?
He's talking about how to
so Dom's name has been misspelled there. So what I'm going to do is in Descript, I'm going to correct it. So I press correct there, And then I can go in same spelling that one, and I'm going to go correct all. And that will change all of the instances. So correct all. Okay, so you can see now that that has changed the bond in several places, so I don't have to worry about that. And I mean, you could go through, fix the transcript. This is wrong as well. So just going to correct that one too for now. I mean, but if this were a real example, you would probably go through and correct all of it. Anyway, okay. Now that looks all a bit better, and let's just say that that is my final video. I would then hit publish, and the quickest way to publish anything from Descript is just to hit publish on a web link, and then what it will do is it will render the video out, and you can download it from the web link, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So I'm just going to let that go. So now we copy the link, go to a new window, and so I'd probably say it's still rendering for a bit. So you can see there it's still rendering, but if I want to download it, and you can see it grayed out at the moment, but once it's finished processing, I'll be able to download it and put it onto YouTube. Or I can take it straight from Descript to YouTube, which is what I normally do. Or you could do other stuff. So this video, like the whole podcast, is 9 minutes and 34 seconds, but Descript's Underlord is even more clever now, because what you can do is I love this feature, Underlord. I love that it's called Underlord, not Overlord. What we can do is we can go to either create highlight reel or create clips. And creating clips is what will happen, if you wanted to sort of download some like short clips of this podcast and you could do this with a real podcast or TikTok or Reels or whatever. You can go in here, you can browse templates, and this is all pretty cool. So I would use one of these vertical ones. That's a cool one if you're a real estate agent of the new listing. But let's just use one with text. Let's just go with audiogram. This one, and then submit. And what Underlord will do is it'll actually weigh and create you 5 30-second clips, which I also think is very cool. Anyway, that is this week's deep dive into both Descript and Notebook LM from Google. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.